Welcome to my stamp studio and our lunch break live, our hump day lunch break live. I'm just adjusting the camera a little bit here. Hello, Amy. How are you today? Okay. Oh, I got a little bit of a shadow going. Not sure where the shadow is coming from. Oh, it was my hand. Ha! Okay. So what is everyone having for lunch today? I am going to have some shredded chicken tacos that I made last night in my quick cooker. Oh my gosh, they turned out fabulous. I can't wait for lunch today. Hi, Barbara. We are going to be playing with our sweet strawberry stamp set today, and also our Create with Friends. I can't wait to show this with you. This is actually my product of the month. So the sweet strawberries, let me move this out of the way, and this sweet strawberry punch. So this does come as a bundle, and it is back available again. For a while there, it was not available, but it is available now. And I will have a link in the description below. So if you wanted to order that, you can. Anyone who spends $35 in orders this week will be getting the free card kit that will be featured on tomorrow night's live at 6:45 p.m. on Facebook. And I will have a abbreviated video of those cards that we'll make, and I will post those on YouTube as well. So this is our mini catalog, our January to June mini catalog, and on page 44 is this bundle. The bundle is $32.25. You'll want to throw some ribbon or designer series paper or some adhesive. Some dimensionals are always cool, and that bumps you right up to $35, and then you'll get the 3-card kit for free. All right, so let's get started on today's card. I have my paper pierce mat because this is a photopolymer stamp. I do want to make sure that I have a cushion underneath. And I have some of my supplies already cut. We're going to be doing 2 cards with the same layout. So I've got my thick whisper white here, and I cut it in half at 4 1/4 by 11, and I scored it at 5 1/2. So I've got my 2 pieces here. Grab my bone folder and give this a good press. Again, all the items will be in the description. If you're watching this Facebook Live on YouTube, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel and click on notify so that you're notified when I post my videos. Okay, we're going to use a piece of the designer series paper from our Hostess paper packet, and this is a phenomenal pack of paper. So it is this giant stack. So when you hostess a workshop or collect orders with you and your friends, you can get this as a free item. It's only available to hostesses. And what does a hostess mean? It means that you have $150 in workshop totals and workshop orders, and you can get this as part of your host rewards. What's awesome about this is it's 48 sheets of paper. It's huge. So I've taken some of the paper, and on one side it's Misty Moonlight, and the other side is black and white. And then I have a Granny Apple Green, and the other side is polka dots. So we're going to be using each of these today. I wanted to show you what it looks like with black and white and then with a color. I've then gone ahead and actually taken a piece of Whisper White. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't give you the dimensions. This is 4 by 5 1/4. I've taken a piece of basic white, not Whisper White, and it's measured at 3 3/4 by 5. And I used our Poppy Moments dies, and the die that I used was this. So I went ahead and cut this shape out of my paper. So here it was. So when I ran it through the die cutting machine, I have this that I can use for something else. I could have stamped this and then went ahead and die cut it so I had it ready to go for my next cards, but I didn't think about that. So that wasn't what I was concentrating on. So I'm going to go ahead and put these dies away before I lose that one. All right. And the next thing I have is I have some scrap Granny Apple Green paper. I have a scrap of Whisper White, and you'll see why in just a moment. I'm going to be using our Granny Apple Green stamp pad and our Poppy Parade. And I may pull in another color, but we'll see how this goes. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is bring this back in. And like I said, I already have 2 of these already cut. So it just gives us a nice little pop of color in the inside. And this one is just black and white is always gorgeous together. So I'm going to put these up aside so I don't get ink on them. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my scrap piece of white here and I'm going to stamp my strawberries. So I'm going to use these 2 right here and I'm going to do these in Poppy Parade. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp off, but instead of wasting my ink, what I'm going to do is, hello Beth, I'm going to stamp one here and then I'll stamp the next one right next to it. And I'll do it again and then right above it. And I want 3 of the same colors. So there we go. So you can see the different color that you get when you stamp that off. Really gorgeous color. And I chose this color because it does coordinate with that designer series paper that I showed you. But you could use Real Red, you could use Cherry Cobbler, you could use Flirty Flamingo. All right, so now I'm going to take my detailed image and I'm going to stamp on top of my strawberries. The reason I'm doing this is I can see through and I can see through my solid image there. So I'm just going to layer this right on there. And I'm just doing it on those 3 lighter ones. If I do it on the darker one, it's not as noticeable. But you can see what it looks like. All right. So that is it for that. I'll go ahead and clean that stamp and put this away. Okay. I'm going to actually take a scissors here and I'm just going to make these into strips. The reason I'm doing this is it's going to be so much easier to punch. So here's our punch. So here's our strawberry shape. When you flip this over, this is how I like to punch my images that I've stamped so I can see and line them up. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to slide this in. So I'll slide this one in here and I'm going to go ahead and punch that out. I'm going to go ahead and punch this one out. And I probably should have spaced my strawberries a little further apart, so we'll just put this one aside and we can stamp another one on another sheet. All right, so this is the other one I need right here. And you know what? Let's go ahead and just use this other side and I'll restamp another one here because I want 3 of them. And see, this is what happens when I leave my paper out. Okay, so I'm going to stamp it off here and stamp it right here. There we go. And I'll come back in again with the Poppy Parade and do my dark detail. There we go. So I hope your day is wonderful. It is beautiful weather here in Wisconsin. It's supposed to be really hot this weekend though. So who knows? I may be doing more videos if it's too hot to go outside. All right, so I'm just lining that up. I'm going to punch it out. All right, so now I get a bunch of confetti as well. So let's get some of that confetti out of our way. Now I did manage to have 2 flowers here. So, 3 flowers. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and use those. That one got cut off. So let's go ahead and grab my scrap. And I'm just going to slide this in and punch one more flower. Now I do things in 3s because it's visually appealing to the eye to have things in odd numbers. Let's get those little scraps out of the way. All right, so we have our flowers, we have our strawberries, and now I need to have some tops for my strawberries. So the easiest way to do that is to take a strip of Granny Apple Green here. I don't really have those measured out, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide this paper in right here and go where my leaf is and punch my leaf. And again, you're going to have confetti everywhere. There we go. All right. And I just want to make sure that I'm getting my whole leaf in there. If my stem isn't quite right where it needs to be, that's fine. Oh, well, this was, okay. That was not my piece of cardstock, so I'm kind of thrown off by that. Sorry. Let me get a piece of cardstock there. All right. Okay, so I've got my 3 toppers now for my strawberries. And if you have watched my lives and videos for a while, you'll know that I really do like this set, and we've used it quite a bit. But I really wanted to feature this since, you know, June is strawberry month. I'm going to take my next piece of scrap of Granny Apple Green here, and I'm going to take my leaf image, which is right here. I had lost one of my other little images. I hope it's not on my carpet, but I lost my little thing there. I was going to be using that today, but I may have to even like get another stamp set because I lost that. That's just not good. Oh, make sure you don't have any schnibbles of paper there. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and bring in Granny Apple Green. Now, tip for this one. Notice how the leaf is centered on the punch here. That means I'm going to slide my paper in this way. If I try to slide it in this way, I'm going to get everything else punched out with it. So I'm just going to turn it this way. And we'll stamp. I'm going to space this out just a little bit so that I can get 3 of them. And we'll close our stamp pad up. And I just did this because, I don't know, I have to stamp, and I thought it was kind of neat having that pattern in there. So there's 1. And again, I'm just lining that up. 2. And if my paper is too long now, all I have to do is just trim off that excess and slide it in. You do want to have it long enough so you can slide it in. Otherwise, use the Post-it note technique where you put a piece of Post-it note here and you can slide your paper in. All right. So now let's get all the other confetti out of the way because we have too much of it laying around. All right. Oh, I need to save my leaf. Okay. All right. So now we are going to stamp one more thing, and that is our card front. So I'm going to go ahead and bring those 2 in that I die cut. Slide this up, and you can choose whatever color you want. I'm going to use Granny Apple Green on this one, and I think I'm going to turn this way so I have enough room for my sentiment, and I'm going to use Poppy Parade on this one. So I'm going to grab in the Friends from our Create with Friends stamp set. I love the font on here. I think it is so fun. All right, so ladies, share with me what you're having for lunch today. It is lunch break after all. All right, so I'm going to grab that. And I'll grab my, you know, I'm going to use Flirty Flamingo. I've decided to change it up. We'll use Flirty Flamingo on one of these. So go ahead and ink that up. And I'm going to put it off to the side here. All right. Nice, bright, fun color. And since we have a lot of green showing, I guess we'll use the Poppy Parade on this one. I was going to do it in green, but I think we'll go Poppy Parade. There we go. Beautiful colors. So summery, so fun. I'd really like to go strawberry picking this year. I think it would be a lot of fun. And now that things are opening up, people have gotten their vaccinations, I might be able to go and do that this year. I don't know, we'll have to see. I don't know when exactly the strawberries are in season to go and pick. Okay, let's cover that up. We're done with our stamping of our outside right now. Okay, so let's go ahead and bring in these layers. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to adhere these 2 right to the top. So I am going to multitask and do both of them at the same time. A little risky, I know, but we're going to go for it. I like to make these videos nice and quick. And I really like it when my ink actually, or my glue actually comes out of my Oh, please, I'm just going to grab a new one because I can. Let's see, do I have a new one handy? Oh, those are all full. Let's see, I should have another one right around here somewhere. You can never have too many of these. Oh, well, this is one I had taken to a workshop, and for whatever reason, they had squished it and the top came shooting out. It's a big old hot mess. I'm going to have to work on that one. Oh, so Amy's hosting dinner. What is Amy making for dinner for us tonight? I'm sorry, I had to get another glue stick out. It'll just be a second here. All right, and again, as you know, I always make sure that my corners are adhered. I don't like my corners popping up. Okay, now because I'm using the glue, the liquid glue, it gives me a little bit of wiggle room here so I can get my paper centered. We'll go ahead and use this one. Had I planned this better, I think this side would have also been very cute to use too. But I just like that pattern. All right. There we go. Get that side. Put the lid on that one. Okay. Next. Now, before I adhere this down, I actually really want to decide if I'm going to use dimensionals or not. I think on one of the cards we will, and the other card we won't. At some point we'll use dimensionals, but I'm talking about popping this part off. Okay, so I think on this one we're not going to use the dimensionals, but what I want to do next is I want to layer my strawberries. So let's start by actually grabbing our silicone mat. Sorry, making noise. And I'm going to bring this in because now I want to put some adhesive on my leaf here and put it right there. And actually what might be even easier is to actually just put my adhesive right on the top, right there. I don't need a whole lot. Okay. And it doesn't matter if those are not perfectly on there. That's fine. Have you ever seen a perfect strawberry? Ooh. Sounds like a very yummy dinner. All right. There we go. Okay, so we got those pieces done. While I'm letting that set a little bit, I am going to come back in with my pale papaya here. And I know usually the strawberry flowers have a little yellow center. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to make it this one. And I want to actually use, let's see. I'm going to use one of my painters here. And let's get a little bit of ink, kind of squish this a little bit, kind of work your arms out here. So I've got some ink in there, and I'm just going to grab a little bit. I'm just making a little squiggle. I don't really have a little tiny dot stamp with me right at the moment, so I'm just going to go ahead and put my little center in just like that. Now, if you had a blend or a marker, you could also do that. Those are across the room, so we are using what I had on hand. Okay, so clean that off. You don't have to do that piece, but on the other card we won't. Okay, next, let's go ahead. Since I've decided we're not going to pop this one up, we're going to adhere it down. Make sure I get all kind of around that die cut there. We'll flip this one down, center that right on there. Liking it already. Okay, so now I'm going to just place my strawberries in a random order around. And if I need to hide something like that, I can put my leaf over there, or I can just leave it like that. right now I'm just positioning things to just see kind of where I want them to lay. So I'm not adhering anything yet. If you feel courageous and you want to just go ahead and put them down, go ahead and do that. Again, making cards is what you want. You use your own creativity to figure out how you want to do things. I like that, just like that. So kind of know what my design is. So what I'm going to do to make life easier on myself is I'm just going to put adhesive right in the middle of my strawberry, and I'm just going to lay it right here. I don't want to cover up my friends over there. And I'll put this one in now because I only put adhesive in that middle. I can kind of slide this and tuck that right under. As long as I'm not going past the outside of my card. Let me flip that over, it got a little sticky. Outside of my card, it's good. So I'll give it a little press. Oh, there we go. Got my next one here. This one I'm putting a little bit more on because I've got to make sure I'm getting that in there. Get my next sleeve and slide that right there. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to press it down. Now, it's okay if my corners come up a little bit. In fact, we can kind of just curl those up just a little bit where it's not adhered. Kind of give it a little dimension. So this is how you give card dimension without dimensionals. You just curl your pieces. All right, so in this one, I'm just going to bend it a little bit more and put my adhesive right on the flatter part. And I think we'll turn it this way. There we go. Okay, now I can scatter these flowers in here like I want. And actually, I just came up with something else. I'm going to put some embellishments right in the middle of my flower there. And we'll put one down here. And I think that'll be fine. We only have to have two. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is I have these little gold metallic dots here. And these are available in our catalog. They're called metallic pearls. They're silver and gold that come in the packet. So I'm going to go ahead and grab take a pick tool, and I'm going to put one in the center of each flower. And then go ahead and put one up here. And I'm just going to keep going around my card. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I want to do 5. All right. Now, I could emboss that as well, just to add some more, but this is just a quick card that I wanted to do. And let's go ahead and we'll bring in a little Wink of Stella here. And I'm just squeezing a little bit so I can see some of the liquid coming out. Maybe this is my dry one. And I am just going to go ahead and give my flower a little shine. And I might just add a little shine to my strawberries as well. Let me see if my other one is... One of them is an old one, one of them is a newer one. Just gotta figure out which one's which. Oh. So here we go. Oh, this is my new one. It got really runny. Now, with Wink of Stella, be a little careful because that will kind of blend and bleed a little bit. So I'm just doing kind of the outsides of the strawberry, just like that. Give it a little something, something. All right, so that is our first one. Now let's take it a little step further, and this one we're going to adhere with dimensionals. So I'm going to get my corners here. Move this out of the way. And then I'm going to come back in just to give this a little more support. There we go. So yeah, this I did go a little dimension crazy, but that's okay because I want this to stay popped up off the card. Let's go ahead and center that one. And on this one too, I think I'm going to add a little bit of baker's twine. So I am going to pull out, kind of like that. This is the gray one. So it's our baker's twine essential pack. And I probably should have tied it before I adhered that down, but that's okay. We can manage. So I'm going to just slide this underneath between the dimensionals. And since I didn't press down really hard on my dimensionals, I was able to lift that up okay. All right. And I'm just going to make a little bow on this side here. If I wanted, I could use some Poppy Parade or some Flirty Flamingo and color in the white crinkled seam binding. Okay. Obviously, I'm not tying a nice bow. All right, we're going to tie a knot, and then we're going to tie a bow. I think I have a little bit of adhesive on my fingers. All right. That and my nails are getting really long, and sometimes I'm so not used to having really long nails, so sometimes that causes a challenge for me. All right, so we're going to make this bow a little smaller. I just want a tiny little bow right there. I'll trim my tails down in a little bit. I don't like how that turned out. Let's try this again. And actually, I think I would rather use white, but we have this one in place already. Okay. Trim those tails, it'll look fine. All right, so now I went ahead and did these same things earlier. So I have my little leaves here, and we're almost done with this card. Just got to glue these things on as soon as I can pick up these leaves. There we go. And I'm missing one small leaf. So these little boogers, when you get them all cut out ahead of time, sometimes they like to just run amok on your table. So worst case is I'm going to grab my punch again, and we'll just punch the third one. There we go. That was quick and simple, and I'm missing a strawberry. So I had a couple of them already done. So go ahead and just use this one. This one happens to be with Flirty Flamingo. Actually, you know what? We could use this one, this darker one. Yeah, let's do it. Okay, let's pull this back in. Oh, I want to get my leaves layered first. So just put my adhesive right across here, just like that. This is just a fun stamp set and punch. I really love when our punches coordinate with our stamp sets, because you know what? Sometimes I don't feel like pulling out my die machine. And now this way I don't have to. Love it. All right, let's get these things moved over and out of the way. Get this out of the way. And start with our strawberries. I'm going to hide this one, I think, a little bit just because it's so dark. So I am just going to, I'm going to be courageous, and I am just going to start adhering. I'm not going to even lay it out. Oh, well, what happened here? All right. And I think I'll start putting in my leaves. Now, if you ever have an issue with your stem, go ahead and cut it off. I'll put this one right here. Ooh, I didn't want to do that because it's going to push that card down. So I do need to wipe that off. So I'm just going to take my scrap, wipe off that adhesive. What I'll need to do for this one is I need to put a dimensional on this side. So we'll put one right there. Now, when it's on that back piece of the paper, it'll stay popped up with the front. All right. We're going to do the same thing with this leaf here. We're going to go ahead and put it on a dimensional. Pop this up. And now, I think for our third one, I'm going to put it right over here. So I'm just changing my design up just a little bit, but really same card layout, just a little something different. So go ahead and do this. Play it around. Take any die that you have, cut out the middle, put a piece of Designer Series paper behind it, and voila, you've got some really pretty things going. So let's go ahead and trim this stem off, and we'll adhere this one down just like that. There we go. And let's go ahead and bring in some bling. This time I'm going to use the silver metallic pearls. That's my words. And my take a pick tool. So I just cleared it off to the side here. And so I'll put one right here. For a minute there, I thought I had gotten some ink on there. I'm like, uh-oh. Well, what happened with that? My putty just wants to stick to everything else. All right, and I think adding a couple more, just because these are so small. Let's put another one right there. And maybe right here. Okay, so those are our 2 cards. Hope you liked your lunch break. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. And later this afternoon, I will have this posted on YouTube and with description. I just need to eat my lunch now before my next meeting. So take care. It was wonderful to see all of you, and I hope you enjoyed the cards. Have a great day. Bye.